Hey everyone, Mirai here, and welcome to yet another fun-filled, ultra-exciting, non-stop roller coaster ride of multiboxing information. Because that's generally what I bring in all of my videos, right? So I may be upselling this video just a little bit, but here we are. We are in the BlizzCon Classic Demo. We are multiboxing it. And it's quite interesting. Let's just, we're going to be talking about that in this video. I'm not the first person to multibox the Classic Demo. Obviously, there's only like a day or two left here before it goes down. People have been multiboxing it before that. And I thought I'd try to get some action in myself. Now, I do have a team of 5 Warlocks here. This is kind of a shout out to an old friend. I don't know if he's going to see this or not. He might. Maybe I'll just throw it in his face and tell him to watch it. But Warlock named Naughty up here, an old friend named Naughty Koala. Used to play with him. He played a creepy gnome Warlock like this. Yes, gnomes are creepy. And so that's a shout out to him. He was a super cool dude. Maybe we'll get him back for Vanilla. Maybe we'll get him back for Classic when that comes out next year, summer 2019. But if you ever met him, he would tell you that he has a belly button. We'll just leave it at that. So here we are. We're in the Classic Demo. This is quite interesting, quite interesting. I first wanted to do 5 Shaman. I was like, all right, let's just do 5 Shaman. I've never played Horde before, and I was going to jump in with 5 Shaman. And then I created the Shaman, and I'm thinking, wait. I've never played Horde in Vanilla. When I played Vanilla, I played Alliance exclusively. In fact, I played Alliance exclusively for pretty much most of my WoW career at this point. And so I'm thinking, okay, wait, I've got time constraints. I don't know anything about the questing that happens in the Barrens. I know nothing. Like, I don't know if it's collection quest heavy. I don't know if it's kill quest heavy. I don't know where any of the quests are because there's not. In the old game, if an NPC has a quest, like an exclamation point over their head, you don't see that on the map. You see turn-ins on the map. You see it as a little yellow dot, the same looking node as like ore or herbs or something. Hey, buddy, what? You're in my shot. Anyway, you don't even see a question mark. You just see a yellow dot on the map for turn-ins, but you don't see any new quest pickups. So I was like, okay, wait. I don't know if I want to be roaming around the Barrens not knowing what the hell I'm doing. I could just be killing things, and that's fine, but I kind of wanted to get some feel for some of the basic questing as a multiboxer because I didn't multibox back then, right? And so I'm thinking, all right, let's just move over to the Alliance because I'm very familiar with Westfall. So I get this idea that I'm going to create this mixed class team. I'm like, yes, we're going to do a mixed class team. We're going to go fight the elites in the Deadmines. Yes, the dungeon itself is off limits. It's turned off, but there's actually like nobody knows this these days. You have to walk through the actual mine area before you get to the actual Deadmines dungeon. So there's elites in there, and I was going to go fight the elites in there with a mixed class team. So I'm like, all right, let's make this. I made a warrior, rogue, mage, warlock, and priest team. And then I log in, and I'm looking at these classes. I'm like, I don't know how to play this. I don't know how to play these characters. And I realized that add-ons at the moment, first of all, add-ons are disabled. So add-ons are disabled here. You have an add-on button on the login screen at the moment. This is essentially a beta client, so it's obviously all disabled, right? But even if you try to enable add-ons on the character selection screen, it tells you that they're insecure, which just means they're disabled. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment because ISBoxer add-on is not working. How are you multiboxing? Right, so without add-ons really kind of functioning correctly, without add-ons functioning at all, and without macros. Macros are a little screwed up at the moment because this is how they generally are in beta clients as well. So with macros screwed up and without the add-on working, I'm like, all right, you know what? A mixed class team is probably going to be a nightmare to try to put together right now, especially since I've never played anything besides a warrior or a warlock in Classic. And I was like, okay, fine. Let's just take a step back and just do 5 warlocks because I know this is going to be easy. I'm somewhat familiar with warlocks. So, yeah. So, dude, I will kill you. Stand up. So here we are. We've got 5 warlocks, right? Now, the ISBoxer add-on is obviously not working at the moment because add-ons are disabled. So, people were like, they're falling apart. They're like, what do I do? What do I do? It's not follow and assist aren't working. Well, how do people, not everyone and their mother uses, while the vast majority of multiboxers, I would assume, use ISBoxer, you have to think that not everyone does. Still to date, not everyone does, right? So how do they do it, right? Well, I mean, ultimately, you could just make a basic follow character name macro and an assist character name macro and tie that into everything. That's pretty boring for me. I like a little bit more flexibility, if you will. I like a little bit more flexibility. So I whipped up an FTL system because you can still do that without an add-on. If you we'll hide the camera. Look along the right-hand side here, we'll see these color-coded gems. These are my macros. The top 5 here start with F. The next 5 start with A, and then the bottom is my invite macro. So these are all follow macros at the top. These are all assist macros below that. And so what that means is that I can follow from any window, right? Without the ISBoxer add-on, just a standard FTL setup, right? And for those of you who aren't familiar with FTL, it doesn't stand for faster than light. It doesn't stand for follow the leader, even though Follow the Leader was a great Korn album, by the way. Am I showing my age? Anyway, it stands for focusless, targetless, leaderless. Meaning there's different ways to follow in games, right? So you can have a focus follow or a focus assist. You can have first some games will do like a target the leader, then use a follow keybind to do it that way. And then, some games require that you do a hard-coded macro, so follow character name, and then that character is your leader, so to speak. So with FTL being focusless, targetless, leaderless, it means you don't need a focus target, you don't need a target before following or assisting, and you don't need a leader. There is no leader of the party because you can follow and assist from anybody. Now, assist works the same way. I'm not going to show you that assist works. It's boring to watch that. But obviously, just a quick look at this. This is how you set up games like Final Fantasy 14 and whatnot. So, you come down, you got the same F11. This is, assist is usually set to backspace, but I just set it to F12 this time around. So that's assigned there. And there's something really weird with macros. I'm going to show this. It is just a beta client issue, but we're just going to do this on one character. I'll shut off key maps here. I don't know how to explain this. It's quite ridiculous. So I'm just going to reload. So every time I log out of the game client, this happens as well, but I'm going to reload just to show you the problem. Now we're looking at the macros along the right-hand side. That's not, what? There we go, okay. Now just watch that area. Where did all the macros go? Where did they go? There's one up there, but it's actually in the wrong spot, I believe. So if we look at our macros here, I've got nothing on the general tab. What I learned is trying to set up the mixed class team that I thought I was going to jump into. When I was first setting up the FTL setup, I was creating my macros here on the general tab. Why not, right? Why not? So I was just creating macros in the general tab, and I'm realizing that when I create the 10th macro, anything after 9 macros, they get deleted. They just disappear. That was blowing my mind. Not only that, but as you can see, every time you reload or log out and log back in, all of your macros are either gone and off your bars, or they're in a different spot. And so it's so weird. What I found was that when you create the macros on a specific character, a character-specific tab here, you can create more than 10. You can create more than 9. So that's fine. So give me a moment here to drag these back. I've got a color-coded setup here. Blue, orange, yellow, green, red. So we do follow first. Blue, orange, yellow, green. So I have to do this every time I log in. Now, obviously, they're all in the same spot, so I can just, turn on the macro thing, bring up the macro pane, turn on repeater, and do this for every single character. But, blue, orange, yellow, green, red. But this is what I have to do every time. Yellow, green, red. Obviously, this will be fixed in a standard client, but this is just beta client issues at the moment. So there we go. Is that correct? Cross. Yes, it is. Okay. So, right. So that's follow and assist. That's how you get around it without needing an add-on at the moment. And, of course, other games, you can still use FTL with other games, as opposed to just World of Warcraft. So let's kill some things here. I've got a list. There's some stuff I wanted to talk about, I think. Do apologize if you can hear that dog in the background. The neighbor's dog never shuts up. Never shuts up. Oh my God. So, right, we need some demon skin there. Little buff action. What else do we have here? Right, so we can just kill some things here. We'll kill some things. We'll kill some random things here. We'll talk about some basic stuff, and then I'll go kill some elites, I think. So, this is interesting, to say the least. It's kind of loud. It's very basic. It's very basic with warlocks at the moment. It's just, I start off with an immolated, a pet attack, and then generally I'll just wand while the dot ticks down on them, because wanding is a thing. Wanding is definitely a thing. Here, I guess we'll just move over to another. Some of these guys have click to move on, as you can see. Click to move and interact with target are part of the game client, so it's all good. Okay. So that's really nice. Is there any rares? Are there any rares over here? I don't think a rare spawns back here necessarily, although I think it can kind of spawn anywhere. There's a ton of these guys back here. I kind of don't want to get stuck back here. So technically speaking, I could just kind of do this. Let's see. I can just kind of run through these guys here. Throw corruption up on them as well. We'll come over here. Just kind of dot things up. Oh, dazed. Give me some of that. Give me some of that. Get the pets on there. We'll wand this guy down. Am I going to die? Oh, stupid click to move. All right, so since you can't, some things are locked down macro-wise as well, so you can't use script or run or dump or anything like that to create like a toggle for click to move. So at the moment, I just keep it enabled on my slaves, and it's kind of annoying to deal with, so I'll turn it off. I'll switch back over to this guy. But interact with target is, did I just say that? I just said that. Interact with target is enabled. So I'm going to kind of repeat myself. There's kind of a lot to go through here. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's like, it is an interesting process because I can't streamline it at the moment. It's a lot of different button presses that I'm not necessarily used to when multiboxing. I'm used to just kind of spamming one or two keys, but here I'm kind of bouncing around between different keys. So anyway, who can loot this? Okay, so the corpse is sparkly for my 5th character, right? So we'll come back over to the 1st character, and we've got him targeted. And I'll hit my interact key. Now just watch the screen up here where my mouse is moving. And I'll hit the interact key, and they will interact, and they will loot, just like they're supposed to. So interact with target is in the game client. Click to move is in the game client. What that means is that melee characters are going to work just fine. I don't want to get kind of sucked into here. But what that also means is that so something that screws with people here today in the retail game client, ever since Cataclysm and beyond and afterward, interact with target has worked a little differently than it has in the past. So interact with target was introduced into the game in Wrath of the Lich King. Click to move has been part of the game since day one, but with interact being introduced in Wrath, they work together, obviously, and we can make characters, run toward their target, right? So melee still works the same, but, and I'm going to say it this way. Some people might not feel the same way, but interacting with target is now the exact same over every class. Here's what I'm talking about. When you try to use warlocks, mages, priests, or hunters, I think those are the only 4 classes. And I'm not talking about survival hunter. I'm talking about just ranged hunters because survival's new. When you deal with those 4 ranged classes, they don't work correctly, in my opinion, when it comes to interact with target. These classes, the 3 casters, mage, warlock, and priest, all used to have a wand slot, right? So we have these slots back because now this is the old game. We now have our wand slot returned to us. Every class has this, right? Including the hunter. So the hunter has their main weapon and then their bow and the ammo over here and whatnot, however it's set up. And so every class has this back. When this particular slot is returned, interact with target works the exact same on every single class. So what I'm getting at here is that the problem is that when you're trying to turn your range characters, when you're close to your target, right, and you're trying to turn them, maybe they moved over here, and yet, you want to turn your casters to face the target so they can go back to casting, but they don't turn. They don't turn when they're too close to the target. If they're far enough away from the target and you use interact with click to move, they'll move into a certain range. And what that range is the old wand range. The old wand range. But we don't have wands anymore, right? I mean, there's still like a thing you can equip on your main hand in the actual retail game, but there's no more wand slot. So here's what I'm getting at. Actually, let me do this again. Break follow. So here, I'm just going to hit this guy. So now when we're in, watch this. Watch these guys turn. Now they turn in melee range like they normally should. And every class acts the same way now. So what that means is that when you want to do a face target, ISBoxer has its, you probably can't see this, I'm in 4K, but ISBoxer has in the base, I already bound it, great, face toward target, right? And some people come to the support channel or the forum, they're like, this isn't working. And we have to ask, first of all, what class are you trying to use it with? Because they all act a little differently. So what happens now is that they will actually run toward the target, or if I hit the button right, and they will stop. We'll run toward the target, and they will stop, and they will keep doing that, and it works great. It works great. Now you can use your face targets across all classes. Sorry if that was kind of a long and convoluted demonstration, but you may not even know what I'm talking about. You may have never played a mage or warlock or priest and tried to turn them before. Now, the reason I say it's kind of my opinion that it's fixed because this also is now the same for hunters. The thing about hunters in today's game, in the retail game, is that hunters will move into range for their auto shoot, which is the same range for most of their abilities, I believe. I don't know if they have an ability that's necessarily closer, requires them to be closer than auto shoot range. And so what you can do as a hunter today is just kind of spam interact with target, and they'll stay on the target as it moves, and they'll keep shooting their bow and doing their abilities and whatnot. It doesn't work like that again on warlocks, priests, and mages, but it does work nicely on hunters. However, now hunters have been reverted back to this same behavior where they're going to run all the way into melee range. They will run all the way into melee range. So yeah, you just interact. These guys will just run into melee range and start doing what they do. And you want to turn them, right? You want to turn them? Just hit the button again, and they'll turn, right? So that's really nice. That's really convenient for a lot of just standard situations, really. People are always worried about trying to turn their casters. When in the past, in the current game client, the thing is you just hit your follow key and you turn them, right? And then you break follow again. I don't have a break follow key. That's why I keep turning on broadcast. But so that's how that's done. Interact with target, ladies and gentlemen. What else are we talking about here? Let's make our way over to Moonbrook and the Deadmines here. I killed some rares earlier. It's my first time logging in today. So I killed some rares yesterday. I killed Master Digger in the Defias mine, and I think it's, what is that mine called? The Jangalode mine? Is that the mine? Yes, the Jangalode mine. So I killed the Master Digger in there when I was first coming through here. Killed the Foe Reaper 4000 the other day, and there was the undead guy that walks around. I killed him. They're pretty easy. They're not elites. They're just standard, like level 20 or whatever. I died a few times to a few different things. Killing some elites here in Deadmines the other day. I was just testing it out and see what was happening, and I died. It's pretty rough down here, man. It's tough. There's some spots where you aggro just a lot of stuff, man, and it's quite interesting. So I did die, so my experience is offset a little bit. Not that it really matters. I got a level. I won't have a level for a while now. I can't see the actual percentage, but we're quite a ways out. So yeah, vanilla and classic for me, they're interchangeable terms in this particular conversation. You'll have to just deal with me interchanging the two there. But things were a lot more tedious, obviously, back in the day. And so I guess maybe I should... let's just do this. Just wanted to bring this guy back. So this is the quest log, right? And here I've got patrolling Westfall, which is to get 8 Gnoll paws. And so, you know, actually a better example is going to be red leather bandanas here because let's just do this on everybody. Okay. So you got to get red leather bandanas from the Defias, right? And there's 3 different versions of the Defias quest. There's the kill trappers and whatever over by the Jangalode mine, then kill pillagers and looters, and then kill the highwaymen, the pathstalkers, and the knuckle dusters over in the Dagger Hills over in this direction. So you do those 3, and by the time you're done killing all of those guys, because you got to kill a lot of them, you should have 15 bandanas. But of course, I'm questing in a full party, which completely divides up all of the drop rates, right? The drop rates back in the day were terrible to begin with, and that is, you know, just the way it was. But then when you're in a party, you were heavily punished for being in a party when it comes to collection quests. So if we look at this, right, I've killed more than enough Defias to satisfy 15 leather bandanas on a single player. I've killed easily over 50 of these guys, if not closer to 100. I mean, probably closer to 100 because I was doing some grinding just for the hell of it on the Defias guys, just to see if I could get this quest done. Still didn't get the quest done. This guy's got 11. He's got 11. He's got 12. He's got 11. And he's got 13. Nobody was able to pick up 15 bandanas, and I killed almost 100 of those guys. So all I'm saying is be prepared, right? Be prepared. It's pretty unforgiving. Or you could just go into grind mode, I guess. You know, if you're down with grinding as a multi-boxer, that's probably going to work too. But can I sneak in here? Okay, I can. So let's switch it up to our Void Walkers now because we are met with elites right as we journey down into the mine here. Look at those effects, baby. All right, here we go. So I've got this button here. This actually toggles on a round robin for my pet attack. I just kind of hacked together a profile because I was thinking, well, I don't necessarily want to send all my Void Walkers in at once. I may want to spread them apart. So, you know, when I want to pull more things at once, I may want to spread the Void Walkers between all that. So that's what I do. We'll send 2 of them in. Oh, jeez. So we sit here, we just wand for a little bit. These are 15 elites. Remember, I'm level 17 now. And there's another elite. Get him. Oh, I didn't. Oh, whatever. Somebody come here and help me. Don't kill me. It gets pretty crazy down here because I'm trying to juggle. Immolate all my dots. I'm trying to juggle all my dots with Void Walkers and wanding. And wanding kind of screws things up for me a little bit because it's a toggle. So when you toggle it on, I can't seem to interrupt with just a normal cast. If you toggle on wanding, it's just called shoot. If you toggle on shoot, you have to toggle it off before you can cast again. Or maybe you can move. I think you can move maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. I guess I didn't try that. But if the shooting gets out of sync, then you got some guys casting dots and others not casting dots. Oh boy. See, oh, here we go. Send this in. We'll send that in. We'll send that in. See, that's why I wanted to break this up. See, we are still... The thing is, though... Whoops. Yeah, that's fine. The thing is, when you assist, that stops wanding. That stops the shoot if you press the assist key. So that's interesting, too. It's the mechanics, I hate to call them clunky, but they're just different and slower, I guess. You just have to get used to it. It's not as... I also don't want to use the word streamlines. It's not as I just used the word flexible again. It's not as flexible as what we have in the current day. Are we almost out? No, we're good. Okay. It's going to be interesting to see, oh boy, how, the thing is I can't see pets other than my own. I guess I should have set up like a video effects for that. There was just so much to do, and I felt that I was really constrained by time, and I wasn't going to be able to get really things done that I wanted to. So I didn't set up a lot of things here. But I think what's going to be interesting is simply the theory crafting side of all of this. And there should be a patrol there. It's a little annoying seeing all the nameplates like this, but I really need to see the nameplates because I need to know where the patrols are and whatnot. So it's just kind of a side effect. The vanilla nameplates aren't the prettiest things, but they are what they are. I'm just trying to save on mana because that is it is a problem. If you go crazy, if you go, see, they, whatever. You'll see me mess this up all the time. It's just because I can't. The guys fall out of sync, and then that's it. And it's really that's really screwed me on some of the more crazier pulls that we do. Come here, buddy. Oh no, that's not you. Oh, got you, nice. Send two of them in. Send two of them in. Right, but the theory crafting aspect of all this, simply because we now have these bad boys back. We got our talent trees back, finally. So for anyone who's just not familiar with where I fall in all of this, I'm quite the advocate for bringing back classic / vanilla, whatever you want to call it. I've wanted to see this return for a long time. I am completely familiar with the fact that these are two completely different games, and one of them is tedious and arduous and unforgiving and ridiculous in some aspects, while the main one is streamlined, easy, efficient. Whatever other words you want to use here. Pick some synonyms. And they're two different games, right? One of them is much more of an RPG aspect from what I'm used to, because my roots in RPGs, I'm old, right? I'm old. So I played NES. NES is what I grew up on, right? So playing Dragon Warrior games, which obviously are Dragon Quest. They just changed the name when they came to North America back in the day. But the Dragon Warrior games 1, 2, 3, and 4 on Nintendo, I mean, there were no quests. You had to go to the next area. And when you crossed that bridge, there were harder enemies. So what were you supposed to do? Well, you come back to the easier side and you grind, right? You grind. That's what you do. And, the same thing in Final Fantasy. Squaresoft at the time, they put out that Final Fantasy game. This was like their last ditch effort to make some money because they were going under. And Final Fantasy just happened to hit it big. And now, we are where we are today with Square Enix. Enix and Squaresoft having their merger back quite a while ago. But which is unfortunate. I really enjoyed. Well, obviously, Dragon Warrior was Enix, and Final Fantasy was Squaresoft. So, yeah, back in the day, those are my games. I can still go back and fire up a Nintendo, whether it's a real Nintendo or an emulator. I prefer an emulator because you do have fast forward when it's time to grind. But, those are my games. So grinding, while I'm not going to say I enjoy grinding, I will say that I understand that it is sometimes, necessary, just part of the game and just, progressing your character. That is the way that it is. And I understand that not everyone enjoys that. I don't necessarily enjoy it. Like some people really like to grind. They just prefer to grind for the entirety of the game's leveling process sometimes, And honestly, I've always thought that grinding should be viable. It should still be a viable way to play the game. And unfortunately, it's not. Questing is so much faster today in the retail game and whatnot. So we're going to pull a bunch of shit. Here comes this henchman. Nope. Do we not have I don't see any elites. Okay. So we'll send you in. You're probably going to pull more than one thing, though. Yes, you are. Come on, guys. There you go. Okay. Right. So, grinding is somewhat fine for me. But this is like my limit, like doing quests and killing all the Defias guys and trying to get 15 leather bandanas. It's like, holy shit. You know, I'm going to want to level up one team and probably be done with it, right? Probably be done with it at that point. And, oh. Oh. Sometimes I spam my wand key and I toggle it off accidentally. So, right. Classic is tedious, and it is the way that it is. And unfortunately, trying to level up a team is going to be quite interesting. I mean, when you're picking your team composition, you had better really analyze what's happening here, right? And there is currently a mega thread on the Dual Dash Boxing forums where people are already beginning to do the theory crafting thing. Well, that's not what I wanted. Don't cast that. I just wanted to, oh, hello. So we do have a watchman coming up. Are you guys coming this way? You are. Okay. Let's get some of that mana back. Let's get some of that delicious mana back. Oh, he's already got me. All right, so let's go this. Let's do this. Don't kill me. Don't kill me, bro. Wait, did I just cast that? Pay attention. Get a little agony on him. So one of the things they are doing, did I just toggle that off again? Like an idiot? Yeah. One of the things they are doing is, so I guess, you know, when it comes to, don't pull anymore. Don't pull anymore. What are you doing? Nice. Okay. Let's pull this guy. Do we get two of them? We did get two of them. So you go there. We'll do this. We'll refresh our corruption. We'll hit him with an agony. We'll start some immolate on this guy. We'll start some corruption on this guy. We'll wand him down. We're at 50% mana. Come over here, wand him down, and then life tap. So warlocks are super sexy, right? They're super sexy, but what I'm getting at is that they did talk about in the BlizzCon panels, they are sticking with the 16 debuff limit. Now, some people would still like to see them use an 8 debuff limit early on because it does somewhat change the game going from 8 to 16. You know, I am in agreement with that statement that it does change the game. I'm not sure how 16 is going to change it early on, though, right? I didn't do anything at level 60. That's I played vanilla, but I had some real life stuff come up, and I didn't have as much time as I would have liked during vanilla. So I played kind of, well, I have played since day one. I was here in the early days. So like when someone talks about, you know, the old patches about how something like flight paths weren't connected. I mean, no one has any, you know, anyone who's played since the end of vanilla and on has no idea what that's like, where you just, nowadays you get on, you talk to a flight master and you can fly anywhere, right? Anywhere. And I'm not even talking about flying over the areas where you don't actually have the flight path to. That was something they recently introduced. But I'm talking about simply flying just across zones. You couldn't do that back when I first began playing the game, right? You had to fly from point A to point B to point C to point D, and you landed every time. You landed every flight point, and you had to talk to the flight master again and pick the next point that you wanted to fly to. That's what I had to deal with back in the day, right? So, and you know, whatever, it was the way that it was. Okay, good. I thought we were going to pull these guys. So we got double watchmen. So here's kind of a problem. We may pull some of these guys, and this guy gets a little retarded. We'll go here. We'll go here. Split them up. Do that. Do that. Give him an agony. Give me a immolate. Give me a corruption. Give me an agony. Do we have extra stuff? We do have extra stuff coming up. I can't. He's not in my line of sight. Okay. All right, well. Wand this guy down. Oh, or wand that guy down. That's fine. We're pulling everything. And I don't have like a pet return here. Passive. Come back to me. Is he going to die? I don't know. This is not good, though. Wow, this is really bad. Oh, this is not good at all. Yeah, Despicable's gonna go down. He's dead. He is definitely dead. That's the noise that and I'm dead too. I think we're gonna wipe. I'm just not. I was not prepared for pulling all that. Are these guys immune? They are immune to fire. Interesting. Well, we can just kind of. So when you die in Classic, oh boy, I told you, it's a little sketchy in there sometimes. There's a lot of there's big pulls. Just because pets pull a lot of shit, and then the pets will go after things. I should have pulled the pet back a little sooner. I don't really have all that set up, so very basic setup. Whoops, I don't want to be on that guy. Okay. So there's only one graveyard generally in most zones, although in a zone like STV, which is really big, they do have 2 graveyards. So expect to walk back. Expect the walk back. With the long and tedious leveling, I don't know if you're going to be wanting to do those collection quests. I don't know if you're going to be wanting to do grinding off of elites and whatnot. I'm not sure. You're going to have to decide what you want to do. But with the questing being so long, such an endeavor, it's quite a commitment, right? So you're going to have to really kind of pick and choose what classes you want to go with ahead of time. And coming back to what I was talking about with the 16 debuff limit, if you wanted to go with 5 warlocks, you have to understand that if you wanted to raid with them, you're either not going to be invited or you are not going to be able to use all of your dots. Because with a 16 debuff limit, you have to think that right now I've got 3 debuffs. I've got Immolate, I've got Corruption, and I have Agony, Curse of Agony. And then multiply that. That's 3. Multiply that by 5 warlocks. That's 15 debuffs on the target. You're not going to be allowed to cast all of that because you cast all of those and you're pushing other necessary debuffs that the raid needs off of that boss. So, even with just 5 warlocks, if you're going to be casting just Agony, right? Just Agony. That's 5 debuff spots right there. Are you going to be allowed to cast that? I don't know. Are you going to have to spec something different besides Affliction? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Again, I didn't do anything at 60. I never rated at 60. I'm not going to try to tell you that it's, the bee's knees or it's the special sauce that everyone needs is a 40-man raid. I can't wait to get into that type of stuff. I can't wait to multi-box those raids. But at first, I'm going to play solo, pretty hardcore. Not super hardcore. Again, I don't know a lot about the game. I didn't play private servers. 2 things about private servers. I don't have the time to play private servers. Second of all, there's just knowing that private servers can just disappear in the blink of an eye. It's just not the thing that I want to engage in. I don't have time to do that. And so I didn't play private servers for that. But the data also isn't really, when you get further down the line, there's a bunch of unknowns in the game that private servers have no idea, and they just kind of fill in the blanks with just data that they think matches or sounds good. So, and that comes down to a lot of the theory crafting stuff as well, is that they will be theory crafting. Let's not kill ourselves here. Yes, we're bandaging. And we're going to bust out some demon skin. Okay. Right, so when you're looking at like the best in slots stuff, the best in slot list and whatnot, which is really difficult to look at for vanilla because of the itemization on gear. And, others have spoken to this as well, that there's not really such a thing as a best in slot gear list for vanilla and classic. It just doesn't really exist in the same form that it does today because things are so different, and the playstyle, depending on what you're doing and what you're talented into, can change, and your best in slot then changes on that. There's a lot of variability in a best in slot list, right? So theory crafting is going to be interesting, not only because, and I was getting to this about the talent trees, is simply that, and we saw this in Wrath as well, when people I can't wait to be linking like talent calculator builds and whatnot again. That was a lot of fun when you're sharing these things. But when you've got multiple of the same class, even the same tree, if you're going down the same tree, you know, you may come, if you're trying to do, say, Affliction Warlocks for your DPS Warlocks, you may bring like each one to a different point in the Affliction tree and then spec them all a little different in Destruction and Demonology, or however you want to divvy it up, right? You may do that because when you play solo, there are cookie cutter builds. There's not necessarily just one cookie cutter build. There's plenty of different ways to kind of talent your way out, your character out. But when you control multiple of the same class, you may want to go into a certain spell that you may have not normally gone into as a solo player, just to bring that spell into the group utility, so that now you've got access to it, right? And you wouldn't normally do that as a solo player. So what I remember is that back in the day, people were having just sometimes crazy hybrid builds that would just not be accepted from like a solo player standpoint. I don't know if we're going to actually, we'll wait for them to pat back. You know, builds that would not be accepted or seen in a normal solo player standpoint, although these pets are probably going to act kind of weird over the bridge. Oh, nice. And so they were able to do that, right? With so many of this, with controlling the entire party. You know, you normally wouldn't let this guy in with this crazy build because he's going to be doing subpar DPS, but he's more utility than anything else. And so you can have that when you control the entire group, right? Or when you control multiple of the same class. And I think that's fantastic, and that's really going to bring the theory crafting out in people, and we're going to be seeing that. Unfortunately, just going back to the tedium of leveling, is that you're more than welcome to theory craft out all the stuff you want, but, oh, come on. But you're going to have to level those characters to get them there, right? So that's going to be very interesting. Okay, this living flame is. Oh, don't cast immolate on him. Yeah, so we're almost at the portal here. Portal doesn't do anything. It's just a spoiler alert. It doesn't do anything. But I figured I would just take us to the portal here, just to kind of show what's going on here in the classic BlizzCon demo. Hit him up with Agony. Put another Void Walker on him. And then we go in and walk everyone in. Map cannot be entered at this time. Oh, well. So that's our journey to the Deadmines. To the Deadmines, through the Deadmines. We had one death on the way here. And you have to think, I mean, there's nothing special about this right now. If you're going to do the Deadmines on your own and there aren't other people in here clearing it, this is what you're going to have to go through. When you die, because you're likely going to die, you're going to have to run back. And not only are you going to have to run back and know the way through the mine area here, this is just Deadmines, right? You're going to have to, run back through the dungeon as well. And in Deadmines in particular, when you kill certain bosses, you've got spawns, patrols that will spawn and then patrol the back area of what you just cleared. So it's not always a fresh and easy walk into back into the dungeon, right? So there's a lot of things that I think people have forgotten about that were there and are part of the base game. And it made it, I hate to use the word difficult. It was annoying and it was frustrating, but those two things together are what create communities, right? And that's what I really want to get back into is communities. I want to see, not only do I want to play solo, because I love this solo game. We can go back over this way. There's some, if we go back, I bet we've got plenty of respawns behind us. So, right, I want to experience that community aspect again. I'll probably roll solo on. This is going to be terrible. Can you guys make it across the bridge without being retarded? For the most part, you can. Okay, great. We're going to aggro that watchman, though. We might aggro that watchman because the way that pets work. We can do a corruption on that guy. We can wand them down. Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay. Forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the community aspect. Right. I want to play solo. I want to don't go down there. Okay. I want to play solo on a PvP server. That's probably where I'll play just for the PvP aspect. But I understand that, there's probably going to be a lot of tryhards that missed out on vanilla. and they just want to be assholes. And there's going to be people who will play on PvP servers just to be assholes because they missed out on vanilla, and they heard that vanilla PvP was just the best thing, right? So I'm hoping not to be on like the most populated server, although who knows what's going to happen with populations in this game. I think that's where Blizz is really going to have to tread incredibly carefully in terms of server population and whatnot, and how they're going to release servers in the beginning. But ultimately, I think I'll just roll a multiboxing team on a PvE server because, again, with all the tryhards, I've never been much of a multiboxer in PvP. I really like the general control, the full control of a solo player and just playing with others. Not that you can't play with others in like open world PvP with multiboxers, but it's just there's plenty of times where I know for an absolute fact I'm going to want to be left alone. And I think when it comes to just farming or herbing or mining or doing something, I'm just going to want to be left alone, right? With as much time as it takes to do things in vanilla, I don't want to, if PvP is your thing, then PvP is your thing. But PvP is not my thing as a multiboxer. So that always goes to the back burner. And I know there will be no shortage of people that are just going to want to mess with me, right? And I'm going to want to get into the game and do things as fast as I can. Sometimes, like I may only have like an hour to farm, but that hour may just be wasted as a are there two? Okay. Okay, here we go. These guys are elites as well. If you couldn't tell by the portrait, these guys are, they're still in the Deadmines area. I don't think we're going to get very far though. This is pretty tough. I tried to do this at 16. I got my ass kicked. There's a kind of a group. There's an area right up here where these guys are just packed in there. And I have no idea what to expect from this. So let's just hit him. Okay, so hit him with that. You get a agony on him. It's just that my Voidwalkers, they don't seem to have enough health and they die. And I was low on shards at the time that I came in here before. Jeez. Okay, so we're good there. I wish I had this set up. Okay. That's why I've got Voidwalkers on round robin, right? Because if they were all going in... Okay, there's that. I just wanted to set up my tanking first. Hit him with another corruption. Hit him with an agony, change targets, immolate, corruption, agony. Let's wand this miner down. Check on the health. We got 1, 2 Voidwalkers that are pretty low. I'm going to have to, let's set up a health funnel here real fast. I didn't put that on my bars, but now that I'm here, I probably have to. And he's dead. Okay, that's nice. Who are you? Who died? These guys put a dot on you, I guess. Yeah, you're dead. Dismiss. And, ooh, I can't do that because I've got it on a... We'll just have to click it here. Sorry. Okay. Anybody else is going to die? No. No. You can't actually see the debuffs on the target at the moment, so I don't know. Okay, it doesn't look like he's got that dot on him. Okay. Seems like we're okay now. All right. Cool story. Let's keep going in here. Was there anything else to talk about on my list here? Yeah, just unforgiving leveling. A lot of fun theory. See, there's just way too much here, man. I can't do this. Look at this. I'm going to take... What do I think I can pull? 1... You think I can maybe take 3 at once? Maybe, and I think I'll have to resummon some Voidwalkers at that point. I just took those 2. Where are you going? What is that? Get your asses back here. Look at these guys. What the fuck? Oh, it's because these guys are stuck on the minecart. That's why. Well, if I pull him, I'm definitely going to pull these 2. Let's just try to dot one guy up here. What else do we get? We get, okay, we've got, okay, great. Give me an agony. I've got this debuff on me. 180 shadow damage inflicted after 60 seconds. Fantastic. Keep wanding. Do not stop wanding. Okay. Sorry, I have to check. We're pretty good on Voidwalker health. Okay. So what I want to get down at... Oh, hello. Oh, I didn't really want to do Sheddable, but I guess we'll take it. All right, so I'm actually doing a lot better than I was before, but this is interesting. This is super interesting here. There's a named guy down here. I think he's Foreman Oslo. Oh boy. So I guess what I can do is send in these guys. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, this is not good. Well, all we can do is just dot these guys up and just hope for the best. That's all we can do. Health is not looking good on my... Oh, I'm going to run. We're going. We're leaving. We're leaving. Look at the health on my guys. How did that happen? What is my... Do I have... Oh, no, they're coming. They're coming. They're coming. Oh, there's respawn. We're dead. We're dead. Just kill them all, son. Are they coming? Hold on. Bomb this guy down. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, did we win? Wait, what? Oh, we just pulled these guys. You're all terrible at this. Wait, how did we survive that? Where are the skeletons? Oh, dude. 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 Holy shit balls. We just lost another. He's down. Switch screens. Oh, click to move. Thank you. Oh, we have nothing. We've got nothing. Oh, we have fear. Why am I not fearing? Because actually we're in a pretty tight area. That's probably why we're not fearing. Holy shit. See, I had to turn the guys there. Do you see me turn them with my interact? Oh, the henchman's down. Are we going to live? Oh, no, my God. Jesus Lord. Oh, we pulled another elite. Son of a bitch. We got to hide. We got to hide. Bandage. 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 We got this. We got this. Oh, man, we're done here. We're totally done here. He's dead. Okay. Wow. Well, how did we not pull more of these guys? That is so interesting. I thought maybe they just don't pull out far enough. Maybe they actually leash. Okay. Well, this has been like an hour-long video or something like that. So I think that's all I wanted to talk about for Classic. I don't know what to do. I'm going to have some respawn here. So let's do this. Let's do this. Whoops. Let's heart these guys out. Let's release these two. Let's switch over here, and we have to run back. Or I could just take the res. Should I just take the res? Yeah, that's fine. All right. So I think that's everything. You know, again, talking about the server, what they're going to do at launch, it's really hard to say. Obviously, they did mention that they were going to probably deploy sharding tech. And I know some people are so adamant against that. They really are. And I understand. I completely understand, you know, because today's sharding tech is terrible in terms of, you know, cohesion of the community. And it's not really ideal to use sharding when we're dealing with community. But you have to think of what it's going to be like, right? People keep referencing, they keep looking back at the old games. They're like, back in the day, we didn't need sharding. Everyone just dealt with it. Right? Well, you have to think that back in the day, people trickled into the game. It got popular fast, yes, but people trickled into the game, right? There was a good initial surge to the game, but people were able to clear out of the starting area, you know, faster than usual. Because it wasn't just it wasn't a huge spike, right? Now everyone knows what Classic is. Everyone knows it's coming out. Everyone is, there's social media. Everyone's talking about it because everyone who wants to try it is going to try it on day one, and everyone and their mother is going to be there. And you're going to have people who are considered tourists, right? Who are just showing up to maybe play it for like 10 levels and then disappear and never play it again. And then you've got people who are going to be super casual in Classic who play it right off the bat, play for a few levels, go back to retail, come back later, play for a few levels, go back to retail. And you have to account for those people, right? You have to account for all this population that's going to come in the initial surge. And so others are saying that they should just make a bunch of servers and then merge them at the end. You know what, man? I cannot get behind that idea. Blizzard has never, ever merged servers, ever. They use connected realms as their server merge. It's like a soft merge where everyone gets to keep their character names. You just have character name dash server name, and multiple realms can be connected, but they've never, ever merged realms because they talked about this years ago that people are attached not only to their realm, but their character name as well. Right? So when you merge realms, who gets to keep the character name and why? And you're going to say, well, just make it first come, first serve. I mean, that's a total fucking cop-out. What about the person who's been playing longer? If someone played for 40 levels but had it first, and the other person's been playing longer and they're level 55, the level 40 gets it? Why doesn't the 55 get to keep it? And then you can say, well, higher level gets it. Okay. What if they're both 60? What if we've been playing for months and we're both 60 now? Then we go to first come, first serve. I mean, there's a whole it would be this convoluted mess of trying to figure out who gets to keep what name and why. And it still wouldn't be good enough because somebody's losing their character name that they really like, that they really enjoyed attached, that they really had attached to their character. Because in this game, especially this game, your character is who you are. You don't have 20 alts. You have one character at 60, and then you have a few that are maybe a few that are in, 10, teens, 30s, 40s, slowly working their way up. But nobody just stops at 60. I can't say nobody. I get it. But, the very vast majority of people don't stop at 60 and then just start leveling a new character right away. Some people will do that, of course, but most people won't, especially because of the way that Classic is. And so I don't see any other way around this with my outside limited knowledge of server tech and everything, than using sharding for the first, as they say, first few levels. Maybe they're going to do it all of like Elwyn or all of Durotar. Maybe. Or maybe just, Valley of Trials and maybe just Northshire Abbey. And the other starting zones as well. I don't know all the starting zone names. Like whatever is in Dunmoreau where the dwarves and the gnomes start and whatnot. I don't know what their starting area is called. But it's going to make or break a good portion of the player base, I think, because if the player base has to wait in queues, that doesn't feel good. It certainly doesn't feel good. People are going to say, well, I had to wait in a queue back in the day too. I had to wait in the queue as well. And while I didn't mind it back then, I mean, it was easy given my situation that we could just get off work, come home, log in, and the queue would be 3 hours long, and we would just go out and eat. And by the time we came back, we'd be, over halfway there. And we would just dick around for a little bit while longer, and then finally we'd get in. And that was great. That was fine. But how many people didn't enjoy the queue? Do you want to bring that queue now? They can't launch with the same amount of servers. This is Classic. They have to expect that there's going to be a server population drop-off. And then what? And then you've got tons of dead realms, right? Tons of dead realms. That's when if you spread people out way too far, way too thin. So you have to do something. And I don't know what the right answer is, but right now, sharding for the first 10 levels, for the first 15 levels, I don't know. That seems to be the answer right now, unless someone's got a better way. And it's not going to be server merges, and it's not going to be making a bajillion servers and then leaving a bunch of dead realms out there, because that doesn't create community. And you need community and you need players to play this game because there's a lot of shitty areas. There's a lot of elites that you need groups for. Redridge, Tharlzun and Galthazog and those guys over at the keep area with all the orcs. That place is notorious for people always looking for a group for that quest. So, I don't know what to say. The other thing then, I guess I'll touch on here at the end, is simply add-ons. They talked about how they're obviously using the modern client, but they're porting it back, right? They're porting it back. And let me tell you, man, if you didn't watch BlizzCon, if you didn't watch the Restoring History panel, you can probably find it on YouTube. And those guys, there's no doubt in my mind that they are passionate about restoring Classic to what it was back then. There's no doubt in my mind. They are 99% no changes, right? They're not guaranteeing pixel perfect on graphics, but they're trying to get there, right? They're trying to get there. And they did this whole presentation. They're very passionate. There's no doubt in my mind that they're trying to do their best to actually bring this game, and because this is a Blizzard game, they want to present it as a Blizzard game with Blizzard quality. They don't want to just throw some bullshit together. They're not going to use some old private server client or some fucking old client from 15 years ago and just throw it up there and be like, there you go, guys. Good luck. Have fun. It's just not going to work like that, right? It can't work like that. So the thing they're doing is on private servers, there is a looking for group add-on that people have made through the communication channels on the back end of the way the add-ons work and whatnot. So they've created a looking for group queuable add-on that you can use to find other people. And so while Ian didn't specifically address that add-on right there, he said that they're going to be looking out for that, and they may have to crack down on the communication on what some add-ons can do, so that an add-on like that can't be made, because they understand that sitting in trade chat, looking for people, traveling to the dungeon, summoning, doing whatever you need to do, that is all part of the experience. And what I'm getting at here is that if they're going to crack down on communications that add-ons can perform, while I don't use Jamba myself, a lot of people do use Jamba, and Jamba communicates in the chat channels. Now there's an add-on. There's an add-on channel for communication these days, but back in this day, maybe there wasn't, or maybe they'll crack down on it if they revert some of their stuff, right? So Jamba, for those of you who are it's something to look out for. We have no idea right now. Again, this is a beta client where add-ons are disabled, and add-ons don't even function right, and the API isn't even all there. So it's hard to say, but later down the line, we'll get this idea, and some people who really love Jamba will see, or EMA, Ebony's new creation, Ebony's multiboxing assistant and whatnot, whether that will be able to function properly without, I don't know if they're going to be gone. I don't know if they're going to be restricted in terms of communication, but it's something to think of. It's another topic of discussion that's come up, and we'll find out next year. There's some theory crafting going on when exactly the release date is. Of course, summer 2019 is what they announced. But again, if you've watched the Restoring History panel on BlizzCon, they're showing some side-by-side shots of the character creation screen. One of the pictures, the character's name, they've written in the character names as well. One of the character names is named Ascanti. And the other character name, as they're comparing the side-by-sides, is named July. So then all of a sudden people were going crazy and were saying it's July 2019, but people continued to dig even deeper because they wanted to know what the hell this Ascanti was. If you look on the WoW Armory, at least at the time when that panel was up, there were two Ascantis. Two Ascantis on the WoW Armory. One of them was a level 100. The other one was a level 16. People are saying July 16th, 2019 is the release date. But not only that, there is an Ascanti character that uploaded what's the big abomination's name, boss? The boss guy in Nax? I can't remember his name. Whatever. There was a kill on that boss uploaded to YouTube on July 16th, back in the day. So everyone's trying to connect these puzzle pieces, and we've all got tinfoil hats on, and we're saying July 16th, 2019. It is also a Tuesday as well. So we'll see. Anyway, it's been a long video. I got to go. This is Classic. This is what it is. Warlocks are fun. Not sure if they'll be viable in the end game. I have no idea. I think mixed class team is probably going to be the ideal route simply because of synergy. I didn't talk about this earlier, but synergy and just the amount of buffs and debuffs and utility you've got, because every class kind of brings something unique to the table, right? That's what vanilla was about. So again, there's a mega thread currently on the Dual Dash Boxing site in the WoW general discussion forum on dual-boxing.com. So check that out if you're interested. People have already been gun theory crafting. I'm talking quickly because I want to get this over with. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Mirai, and I will see you all of you, every single one of you, in the next video.